we heard a lot of things from the side of the proposition, and I will make a very long rebuttal on this side, but I just want to tell you what my points will be. The first one is actually scaling civil wars or creating instability. I will show you how rebel groups are created, how their proposal might actually promote creation of more rebel groups, and in that sense will not bring any stability and no economical success. And we cannot leave in this debate the subject of multinational cooperation, and I will talk about economic colonialism, that in terms of multinational corporations, they have their own agendas, and I can show how they, working in their own benefit, can actually harm the local population. But before that, I want to make a rebuttal to my friend over here in the proposition. They talked a lot about increasing economic opportunities, about creating a middle class, and how everything will be shining and good, and everyone will have a good life. First of all, you have to prove it. You didn't prove it, and I'll show you how. Because the essence, when you have rebel groups, those areas are unstable. And if we take the examples of African countries, when you have multinational corporations working in a very harsh environment, they don't hire the local population much. They bring their own experts from other countries. You take even extreme cases when you have multinational corporation from, it's multinational, but the basis, let's say, is in the United States. They bring workers from China and the Filipinos, and they all work in Africa. They don't use the local population. What the local government gets is only tax money. And in that sense, it's as someone gives you aid. You know, there is nothing special about it. Just get the money for it. And the question, how they use this money. And this takes me to the second point of rebuttal. You think that all wars are about money, or that money helps a lot. But we're saying that money is just a tool in promoting your ideology. And Hamas is a perfect example, and also Fatah. You know, because we know that a few years ago there was an Al-Fur, there was like a few disagreements between Israel and the Fatah, and the United States said, you know what, you Palestinians, you disagree, take $30 billion, just give up those little few ideas for $30 billion. It's a lot of money, you know, it's a lot of multinational corporation working in your country. And they said no, because you know what, when it comes to some holy sites, some things are more important than money. And when it comes to Hamas and Fatah, some things they're willing to fight for and not give up for the money they're getting. So it might not actually bring stability, because they will use the money they got, which is the same as any aid they're getting. They will buy weapons, the same thing they're doing now. And the more weapons they get, the more power they have, and the more means they have in order to fight, in order to get what they believe in. Okay, we also talk about multinational corporations and how they can actually promote the local population. I'm saying how your proposal prevents a multinational corporation, was discussed with Hamas, and let's say, for example, they want to, I don't know, mine the sand of Gaza. I don't know. And Hamas gives them a very high price, and they suddenly decide, well, it's too high for us, but we cannot find such a good sand anywhere else. So what prevents them from taking a small group which oppose Hamas inside this area and establish their own militia, you know, because they have their own rebel group, they might have a different ideology if we don't like Hamas, and we have a multinational corporation who funds us, that way we can get more weapons, more money, pay our soldiers, whatever. Okay, moreover, multinational corporations are more focused on profit, and you talked about how to improve the condition in the local population. There is a huge gap between showing it, because once they're only interested about money, get to the end of the rebuttal. Nothing really, I mean, they're only interested in money, so they only look for the cheapest way if they don't really care about the humanitarian condition. And last but not least, you talked about how it will actually promote stability. But, you know, economic pressure is one tool you have in a war. What you're saying, I mean, if Hamas, for example, wants to promote stability, what about peace, you know? Hamas can have peace, and then everything will be good and shining and very good. But no, by paying Hamas, you allow him to maintain the current instability with the enemy group, and allow them to maintain this hard line they have by this thing. You're not promoting peace, you're promoting more casualties. So they might have a shell on their shores, but you know, once in a while they get a war and thousands get killed because you have a hardline government. And in all of your proposal, both your side, you didn't say anything about the cause of the rebel group being just. And this is, I think, a very important thing when it comes to this debate, yes.
Okay, but what you have to understand is that Gaza doesn't have any resources besides its labor. So the multinational corporations that would operate there would actually benefit people by giving them jobs. I don't understand why you don't see this. It's not Angola. There's no diamonds. We're talking about a strip on the sea. Come on.
I think workers in China are cheaper than workers in Gaza, and the government is more stable, and you have better ports to export, and you have everything better in other countries. You have to show something very unique and special about Gaza, and the multinational corporations like workers. But we are talking in general. And in general, you have to show that there is something very special about it. No, I don't have time. So I'll talk to my first point now, which is quite late, about what creates actually civil wars. And when you create a rebel group, you actually want to look for a few things. You want to establish this group, you seek recognition, you want growth, and you want stabilization of this group. And we can show you how multinational corporation can actually achieve all of this for those groups. So now I'm a new group and I want to get some money. The first thing I will do, I will take over natural resources, if you want. And I'm a new group now, a new player in the neighborhood, and I'm causing instability in the region. And once I get a sponsor, which is a multinational corporation, I'm also getting, by the way, recognition. Because I have a multinational corporation that pays me money, probably written about in the news, and my cause will be published all over. And once I get recognition, I can grow because now I'm getting money, I can get more soldiers, people can pay me, and I can pay to my soldiers. And when I get all this power around this region with more natural resources, I can take over the next mine and get more power and get stabilization. So I show you how easily with this proposal, it promotes creation of more and more rebel groups. So once you have one rebel group or two rebel groups fighting each other, now we have the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth. This doesn't create opportunities, this actually creates violence. Which takes me to my second point, economic colonialism. Because we're talking about economic issues, and we're saying that when you have multinational corporations, you cannot allow them to do whatever they want. You must have some regulations. As in the past, people have some ideologies. So for example, today we believe that capitalism may bring prosperity to many people, and by allowing capitalism, I mean, it's some sort of science, we buy for less, we sell for more, we get more money. So I mean, many people believe in it, and in the past we've seen such behaviors, for example. For example, religion. We believe in the past that if all people on earth will believe in the same religion we have, everything will be shining and good, everyone will go to heaven, and God will be very happy, and we are very, very prosperous. What happens, we go all over the world with missionaries, convert everyone, devastate cultures, devastate everything, because don't care what they really think. We do whatever we think what's better for them, and then we devastate the entire culture. The same goes for nationalism, how countries in Europe took over the whole world because they believe that's what's good for the natives. The same works with multinational corporation. Why? Because multinational corporations don't really care what happens with the local population. They're saying, if we, like you said, if we bring money, we pay money, so we pay them money, so we'll be much better because we give them money, they'll do very good things with the money, and everything will be shining and blue, and everyone will be very happy. No. In the name of capitalism, they're paying money, they're bringing the local population, and we don't want the same thing to happen again, that we think that we're going to do a very good thing for the local population, but actually we're devastating the local population. For all these reasons, ladies and gentlemen, I call you to oppose the